A man walks through a filthy alley, whistling like this is just another ordinary day. He spots a dead rat on the ground, picks it up without flinching, and drops it into a plastic bag. But he does not throw it away. He carries it home, sets it beside a small pouch of strange tea powder, and heads toward a locked door at the back of a dark room. Whoever is behind that door has been waiting for him. And whatever happens in there, this man has clearly been doing it for a very long time. To understand who he is, the story rewinds 10 years. Atarva is a wealthy pilot with everything a man could want. A wife named Bina, a college-age daughter named Arya, and a young son named Ansh who never stops causing trouble. They tease each other, laugh together, and actually enjoy being a family. On a drive home, Arya asks her father for permission to travel to Ladakh with her college friends the following month. She also wants to skip the family trip to their villa so she can go shopping instead. Her parents refuse immediately, but Arya keeps pushing, and Atarva eventually gives in under a long list of conditions. She has to call home every single day. She has to hand over the addresses and phone numbers of every friend on the trip, including their parents. And she has to keep her live location shared until she walks back through the front door. The rules are ridiculous, but Arya agrees because all she wants is a yes. Atarva has one condition of his own. Before any shopping, she comes to the villa with the family first. That decision destroys their lives. On the way, the family stops at a small roadside restaurant for lunch. Arya refuses to eat because she has decided the food is unhealthy. When they try to order more iced tea, it turns out the place is cash only, and Atarva does not have enough small bills. That is when a middle-aged man appears out of nowhere and quietly pays for the tea. His name is Pratap. Atarva thanks him, awkward but grateful, and Pratap uses that awkwardness instantly. He does not leave. He pulls out a chair, sits down at their table, and settles in right beside Arya. Everyone at that table can feel something is wrong, but Atarva just took this stranger's money, so he says nothing. Pratap turns to Arya, lectures her about being grateful for her food, and offers her a piece of sugar candy. The moment she eats it, something inside her shifts. The girl who refused to touch anything on the table suddenly starts doing whatever Pratap tells her to do. She simply obeys, as if saying no never occurred to her. The family gets up to leave, and Pratap follows them to the car. He hands Arya a small pack of biscuits and tells her to eat them the moment she arrives at the villa. This time she does not just agree. She smiles at him while she does it. Nobody ever told this man where they were going. Somehow he already knows. This is Vash. At the villa, Arya eats the biscuits before she even steps out of the car. For a while, everything feels normal. The family swims and jokes around like any other vacation. Then Pratap walks up the driveway. He says his car broke down nearby, and there is no signal to call his son. It is believable and far too convenient. But Atarva, still trapped by his own politeness, lets him in to use the phone. And Pratap does not stop staring at Arya. What makes it terrifying is that she is not asleep or hypnotized. She is wide awake, and when Pratap tells her to sit down, she sits instantly without a word. Later, she ends up alone with him. He asks about her boyfriend and about Ladakh. Then he calmly tells her she will never go to Ladakh because she is going to stay with him forever. For 1 second, something behind her eyes flickers. It is the last time anyone sees her fight back. Bina has had enough. Hours have passed and this man shows no intention of leaving, so she tells her husband to get rid of him. Before Atarva can act, Ansh starts annoying his sister with a ball. Pratap leans back and tells Arya to slap him. She does it without hesitation. Hard enough to make the boy scream and cry. Atarva erupts at his daughter while Bina stands there, frozen. Arya has never raised a hand to her brother in her life. Bina treats the boy's swollen cheek and sends him upstairs to rest with his phone. Then Pratap inserts himself into the argument and tells Arya to call her boyfriend, break up with him on the spot, and block his number. She obeys immediately without a single question. That is when Bina stops pretending. Something is horribly wrong with her daughter. Atarva finally snaps and orders Pratap out of the villa. Pratap calmly refuses, and when the confrontation escalates, Arya turns on her own parents, screaming at them and defending the stranger like they are the intruders in their own home. That is when Pratap tells them the truth. He has placed Arya under a dark spell. Every command he gives, she has to follow. He can make her eat strange tea powder, laugh hysterically, sob seconds later, or hit her own father.
जाओ भी थे तेरा बापन लाफा मार जा.
She is not asleep and she is not confused. She is a living puppet, fully conscious for every second of it, and she cannot stop any of it. Pratap orders the parents onto the sofa. Then he sends Arya around the house. She smashes every phone. She cuts the landline. Then she kneels down and massages his feet like a servant while her parents watch. And then he tells them what he actually wants. He is taking Arya with him. Her parents break down, but they cannot fight back. One word from Pratap and Arya could hurt herself or attack her own family. So he raises the stakes. He tells them they have to hand their daughter over willingly, out loud in front of her. Because the spell has a weakness. If Arya still clings to her parents, if she believes deep down that they never approved of her leaving, the control could eventually crack, so they have to surrender her freely. Or he will order her to kill them and take her anyway. Atharva refuses. He would rather die. Pratap smiles and drops one more claim on them. He says he is not a man at all. He is a demon from hell, and tormenting humans is what he does for fun. Then Ansh comes downstairs and runs into his mother's arms, terrified. Arya's hands pause on Pratap's feet, and Pratap kicks her viciously for stopping. Something inside Atharva finally breaks. He throws himself at Pratap, punching him and choking him, and Pratap punishes him in the cruelest way he can find. He orders Arya to smash her little brother's head against the staircase. Ansh drops to the floor, bleeding badly. His parents carry him upstairs and try to stop the bleeding. Bina finds Ansh's phone, but the battery is dead, so she plugs it in. Atharva suddenly remembers that his work phone is still sitting in a suitcase downstairs. They beg Pratap to let them take their son to a hospital. He does not even pretend to consider it. Instead, he puts a knife in Arya's hands and orders her to stab anyone who touches him. Then he forces Atharva onto his knees to apologize. And Atharva does it, because his son is bleeding upstairs. He offers Pratap the villa and everything he owns. Pratap turns it down. He says he is already richer, and nothing changes the fact that Arya is leaving with him. Through all of this, Arya stands there silent and still, tears streaming down her face. She is watching her family be destroyed, and she is the weapon being used to do it. Then Pratap decides he wants entertainment. He orders Arya to play his favorite song and dance for him. Atharva cannot watch. He goes upstairs to sit with his injured son. Downstairs, Arya keeps dancing. She dances until her legs shake and her body is drenched in sweat, smiling the entire time because she was told to. Nearly 3 hours pass before the speaker battery finally dies. She is barely standing and desperately thirsty. When her mother brings her a glass of water, Pratap orders her to throw it away. She empties it onto the floor without hesitating. Then he gives the house its rules for the night. If either parent comes near him while he sleeps, or even tries to speak to Arya, she is to kill them with the knife. Bina still tries. She approaches her daughter with water one more time, and Pratap counts down, promising Arya will bury the blade in her own mother if she is not gone in seconds. Bina retreats upstairs sobbing. Eventually, Atharva goes back down anyway, knowing Arya will stab him if he crosses the line. What happens next is the most heartbreaking moment in the film. Arya stands there gripping the knife, forbidden to speak, forbidden to warn him. So with the only piece of control she has left, she wets herself in front of him. It is the only signal she can send. Stay back. Do not come closer. Do not die for me. Atharva understands. He turns around and walks back up the stairs. Upstairs, Ansh's phone finally powers on. Still no signal. Later, Pratap calls the parents back down. Atharva stays beside his son, still hunting for a single bar of reception. Bina goes alone and tries to clean her daughter up, but Pratap only lets her fetch clean clothes, then forces Arya to change right there in front of him. Bina rushes forward to shield her child, and Arya almost drives the knife into her mother before Pratap orders her to freeze. Bina has to walk away and let it happen. By the middle of the night, Pratap's games turn uglier. He makes Bina mop the floor where her own daughter wet herself. And because the parents still will not surrender Arya willingly, he invents a new punishment. They have 5 minutes to hide Ansh somewhere in the villa. When the time is up, Arya will hunt her little brother down. Atharva still cannot attack, because the second he does, Pratap can turn Arya into a murderer. So he hides his son in a locked room and throws the key down the toilet to buy time. Moments later, Arya starts slamming her body against that door, over and over. Pratap climbs the stairs and calmly informs the parents that once she finishes killing Ansh, she will be sent after them next. In the chaos, Atharva quietly slips his work phone out of the suitcase. Then the door finally breaks open. The room is empty. Ansh is gone. Arya tears through the villa until a sound gives him away. He is on the rooftop. What follows is a nightmare. Atarva is stabbed in the thigh by his own daughter and beaten with an iron rod. And then Ansh is pushed off the roof. The boy survives the fall, but he is broken and barely breathing. Arya moves in to finish him and only stops because Pratap tells her to. His parents beg one final time to take their son to a hospital. This time Pratap agrees. There is one condition. They give him Arya willingly. With one child dying and the other already lost, they surrender. They say the words out loud. They give their daughter away. But before Pratap leads her out the door, Atarva does one last thing. He slips Ansh's fully charged phone into Arya's pocket with the live location switched on. The same paranoid habit his daughter once mocked is now the only thread connecting him to her. Bina speeds toward the hospital with Ansh, planning to call the police on the way. But she is shattered and panicking, barely able to see through her tears. The car never makes it. Atarva grabs a pair of scissors and a set of pliers from the villa, follows the moving dot on his screen, and drives into the dark. The location leads him to a temple. Inside, Pratap is introducing Arya to his followers. There are dozens of them. Every single one is a woman. Every single one is trapped under the same control that is eating Arya alive. This was never a random encounter at a restaurant. This is a collection, and Pratap has been building it for years. Guards spot Atarva before he reaches the entrance and swarm him, beating and clawing at him. He is bleeding from a dozen wounds and still crawling forward. Pratap demands to know how he found the temple. Arya answers honestly because she has no choice and reveals the hidden phone. Pratap orders her to destroy it. Atarva is seconds from death, so he plays his final card. He begs Pratap for one last mercy and asks that his own daughter be the one to kill him. Pratap loves the idea. He calls off every follower and clears a path so Arya can execute her father. That is exactly what Atarva was counting on. He snaps the scissors apart into two blades, grabs his daughter, and drives them into her ears. She screams. And even through unbearable pain, she keeps smiling because Pratap never told her to stop. But Atarva did not do it to hurt her. He did it because Pratap's power lives in his voice, and a girl who cannot hear can never be commanded again. For the first time in a day and a night, Arya is free. Atarva turns on the man who took everything from him. He slams Pratap to the ground, smashes his head against the floor, and rips out his tongue so he can never speak another command to another woman again. Then the story returns to the alley, and to the man with the dead rat. 10 years have passed. Bina and Ansh both died in that car crash on the way to the hospital. Atarva lost his wife and his son in a single night. The man collecting rats was Atarva all along, and the prisoner locked in that dark room, waiting for his meal, is Pratap. Atarva never killed him. Death would have been mercy. Instead, he keeps him alive in filth, tongueless and helpless, feeding him scraps and rats and misery year after year. After taunting the broken thing on the floor, Atarva walks into the next room to see his daughter. Arya is sitting there, deaf, silent, and smiling. She has been smiling for 10 years. The spell is gone, but its damage sank too deep. Her mind never came back. Her body is slowly failing. She cannot hear her father speak to her, and she cannot find her way out of wherever she disappeared to that night. Atarva saved his daughter's life. He just never got her back. So the moral of the story is never accept random candy, biscuits, or tea powder from creepy strangers, because one free snack can turn your whole family vacation into a demonic hostage situation.